The inciting incident. The summer sun beat down on Central Park, New York City, as children laughed and played, their joy echoing through the air. Among them, 12-year-old Zoe Martinez chased her younger brother, Alex, around the playground. Their parents, Elena and David, watched from a nearby bench, smiling at their children's carefree antics. It was a day like any other on Earth in the year 2045. Humanity had made great strides in technology, medicine, and space exploration, but they were still alone in the cosmos, or so they thought. High above the atmosphere, undetected by Earth's most advanced sensors, a massive ship emerged from faster-than-light travel. Its hull was a deep, iridescent purple, adorned with strange, angular symbols that pulsed with an eerie light. This was the Krothax Empire's flagship, the Void Reaper, and it had come to Earth with a singular purpose. As Zoe tagged Alex, declaring herself the winner of their game, a shadow fell over the park. At first, people thought it was just a cloud passing over the sun, but when the shadow grew darker and more defined, heads began to turn skyward. Gasps of awe and terror rippled through the crowd as the enormous alien ship came into view, descending through the clouds. Its size defied comprehension, dwarfing even the tallest skyscrapers of Manhattan. "Mom, Dad," Zoe cried out, grabbing Alex's hand and running towards their parents. Elena and David were already on their feet, eyes wide with disbelief. "It's okay, kids," David said, trying to keep his voice steady as he pulled his family close. "Let's just stay calm and—" His words were cut short by a blinding flash of light. A beam, vibrant and purple, shot down from the ship, sweeping across the park. People screamed and ran, but there was nowhere to hide from the otherworldly technology. Zoe felt Alex's hand slip from hers as the beam passed over them. "Alex," she screamed, reaching out, but her brother was gone. Vanished, along with dozens of other children caught in the alien light. As quickly as it had appeared, the beam retracted. The ship began to ascend, leaving behind a scene of chaos and heartbreak. Parents frantically searched for their missing children, their cries of anguish filling the air. Elena collapsed to her knees, sobbing uncontrollably. David stood frozen, his face a mask of shock and despair. Zoe, however, stared up at the retreating ship, her young face set in a mixture of grief and determination. "We'll get him back," she whispered, her fists clenched at her sides. "We'll get them all back." News of the alien abduction spread across the globe like wildfire. Within hours, reports came in from other major cities: London, Tokyo, Moscow, Beijing, all with the same story. A massive ship appears, a strange beam of light, and then children vanishing without a trace. The world's governments, caught completely off guard, scrambled to respond. Emergency meetings were called, military forces were mobilized, but against such advanced technology, what could they really do? In Washington, D.C., President Evelyn Cooper stood before a hastily assembled press conference, her face grave as she addressed a nation and a world in crisis. "My fellow Americans and citizens of the world," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. "Today, we face a threat unlike any in human history. An alien force has come to our planet and committed an act of unspeakable cruelty, taking our children from us." She paused, allowing the words to sink in. "I want to assure you that every resource at our disposal is being directed towards understanding this threat and bringing our children home. But I must also call upon you, the people of Earth, to stand united in this darkest of hours. We cannot allow fear or panic to divide us. We must face this challenge as one human family." As the president spoke, in a secure underground facility beneath the Pentagon, a team of the world's brightest minds had already begun working tirelessly to unravel the mystery of the alien technology. Dr. Amelia Chen, a brilliant physicist known for her groundbreaking work in quantum mechanics, stood before a holographic display of the alien ship. Her dark eyes narrowed as she studied the strange symbols etched into its hull. The energy readings we got from the abduction sites are off the charts, she muttered, more to herself than to the room full of scientists and military personnel. It's like nothing we've ever seen before. The power required to generate that beam, let alone use it to teleport matter. It should be impossible. General Marcus Blackwood, a decorated veteran with a stern face and salt and pepper hair, stepped forward. Impossible or not, Doctor, those bastards did it. The question is, can we do something about it? Amelia turned to face him, her expression determined. General, what we're dealing with here is so far beyond our current level of technology that it might as well be magic. But a small smile played at the corners of her mouth. I've never been one to believe in the impossible. Give me time, and a team of the best minds on the planet, and we'll figure this out. The general nodded, a glimmer of hope in his eyes. You'll have whatever you need, Doctor. Just work fast. We don't know what those aliens want with our children, but I'll be damned if we're going to sit back and do nothing. As governments and scientists raced to respond to the alien threat, ordinary people around the world grappled with the new reality thrust upon them. In homes and communities everywhere, fear and grief battled with anger and a determination to fight back. In New York, the Martinez family huddled together in their apartment, the TV droning on with constant updates and speculation about the alien abduction. Elena sat on the couch, staring blankly at Alex's favorite stuffed dinosaur, her eyes red and puffy from crying. David paced back and forth, his phone pressed to his ear as he tried to get through to yet another government hotline. No, you don't understand, he said, his voice rising in frustration. My son was taken. Alex Martinez, age 8. I need to know if there's any new information, any. He was cut off, and with a growl of frustration, he threw the phone onto the couch. Useless. They don't know anything more than we do. Zoe, who had been quietly sitting by the window, turned to her parents. We can't just wait for someone else to do something, she said, her young voice filled with a maturity beyond her years. We have to help. There must be something we can do. Elena looked up, meeting her daughter's gaze. For a moment, she saw not her little girl, but a glimpse of the strong woman Zoe would become. You're right, Muija, she said softly. We can't give up hope. Alex needs us to be strong. David stopped his pacing, looking between his wife and daughter. He took a deep breath, squaring his shoulders. Okay, he said, his voice steadier now. Let's think. I have some contacts in the tech industry. Maybe they know something, or can help in some way. As the Martinez family began to formulate their own plan to contribute to the search for the missing children, similar scenes played out in homes around the world. Humanity, faced with an unprecedented threat, was beginning to rally. In the days that followed, a global movement emerged. People from all walks of life, united by their determination to rescue the abducted children and protect Earth, began to organize. Online forums buzzed with theories and ideas. Volunteer groups formed to support the families of the missing and to assist in any way they could with the global response effort. 2 weeks after the abduction, a breakthrough came. Dr. Chen and her team, working around the clock, managed to decipher part of the alien language seen on the ship. It's not a direct translation, Amelia explained to a room full of world leaders and military brass. But we believe we've identified their name for themselves. They call themselves the Krathax. President Cooper leaned forward, her brow furrowed. The Krathax, she repeated, testing the alien name. And have we learned anything about why they took our children? Amelia's expression darkened. We're not certain, Madam President, but based on what we've deciphered, it seems the Krathax view other species as resources to be harvested. The children, she paused, steeling herself. They may see them as some kind of renewable resource. A horrified murmur ran through the room. General Blackwood slammed his fist on the table. We can't let that stand, he growled. We need to strike back, show these Krathax that humanity is not to be trifled with. With all due respect, General, Amelia interjected, We're not equipped to strike back. Not yet. But she took a deep breath. I have a proposal. It's ambitious, maybe even crazy, but I believe it's our best shot. All eyes turned to her as she activated a holographic display. The image showed a sleek, futuristic spaceship, unlike anything Earth had ever produced. "Ladies and gentlemen," Amelia said, her voice filled with determination, "I give you the Earth Defense Ship Avenger. Using what we've learned from the Krothax technology, we can build this. A ship capable of faster-than-light travel, armed with weapons that can stand up to alien tech." The room erupted in a mix of excitement and skepticism. President Cooper raised a hand, silencing the commotion. "Dr. Chen," she said, her voice measured, "you're talking about a monumental leap in technology. How long would something like this take to build?" Amelia met the president's gaze steadily. "Under normal circumstances, decades. But these aren't normal circumstances. With a global effort, pooling all of Earth's resources and best minds, I believe we can have a prototype ready in 1 year. A year. 1 year to do what would normally take a generation." It seemed impossible. But as the leaders in that room looked at each other, a silent agreement passed between them. They had no choice. For the sake of their children, for the future of humanity, they had to try the impossible. President Cooper stood, her decision made. "Dr. Chen, you have your green light. Whatever you need, you'll have. We're going to build this ship, we're going to find the Krothax, and we're going to bring our children home." As the meeting adjourned and plans were set in motion, a new chapter in human history began. The age of innocence was over. Humanity had been thrust onto the galactic stage, facing a threat beyond their worst nightmares. But they would not cower. They would not surrender. Earth was going to fight back, and the Krothax were about to learn that they had made a grave mistake in underestimating the determination, ingenuity, and sheer will of the human race. The countdown to humanity's vengeance had begun. Earth's response. 1 year had passed since the Krothax abduction, a year marked by grief, determination, and unprecedented global cooperation. The world had changed in ways few could have imagined before that fateful day in Central Park. In New York, Zoe Martinez stood before a massive holographic display, her eyes scanning the latest data from the Global Defense Network. At just 13, she had become an integral part of the civilian response team, her keen mind and unwavering determination making her an asset despite her young age. "Zoe," a voice called from behind her. She turned to see her father, David, approaching. Dark circles under his eyes betrayed the sleepless nights he'd endured, working tirelessly as part of the engineering team developing Earth's new defenses. "Any news?" Zoe asked, hope and fear warring in her voice. David shook his head. "Not yet, but Dr. Chen has called an emergency meeting. She says there's been a breakthrough." Together, they'd made their way to the Central Command Center, a hub of activity buried deep beneath the streets of New York. As they entered, they saw familiar faces. Alina, Zoe's mother, who had become a key figure in coordinating global civilian efforts. General Blackwood, his stern features set in grim determination. And at the center of it all, Dr. Amelia Chen, her eyes alight with a mix of exhaustion and excitement. "Thank you all for coming," Dr. Chen began as the room fell silent. "I know we've had setbacks, but today, I can finally say we've made a leap forward that could change everything." She gestured, and a holographic image appeared in the center of the room. It showed a sleek, angular ship, unlike anything Earth had produced before. "Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the EDS Avenger, Earth's first faster-than-light capable warship." A murmur of awe rippled through the assembled crowd. General Blackwood stepped forward, his eyes narrowed. "You're saying it's ready? Ahead of schedule?" Amelia nodded. "The prototype is complete and has passed all initial tests. We've successfully reverse-engineered key components of Krothax technology and integrated them with our own innovations. The Avenger is faster, more maneuverable, and more powerful than anything we've ever built." President Cooper, joining via secure video link, leaned forward. Dr. Chen, this is incredible news, but the real question is, can it stand up to Krathak's technology in actual combat? Amelia's expression grew serious. Madam President, in simulations based on our observations of Krathak's capabilities, the Avenger performs admirably. But until we face them in actual combat, we can't be certain. What I can say is this: it's our best shot. The President nodded, her decision already made. Then we move forward. General Blackwood, assemble your best for the crew. Dr. Chen, you'll be going with them as Chief Science Officer. Your mission is to locate the Krathaks, assess their capabilities, and if possible, retrieve our children. As the meeting adjourned and preparations began, Zhou caught up with Dr. Chen. Dr. Chen, she called out, her voice filled with determination. I want to help. I've been studying the Krathaks' language patterns. I think I could be useful on the mission. Amelia looked down at the young girl, seeing the fire in her eyes. For a moment, she was reminded of herself at that age. Brilliant, determined, unwilling to stand by when there was work to be done. But this wasn't a laboratory. It was a dangerous military mission into unknown space. Zhou, she said gently, your work has been invaluable, and it will continue to be. But this mission, it's too dangerous. We need you here, continuing your research, being Earth's eyes and ears. Zhou opened her mouth to protest, but Amelia held up a hand. I promise you, we will do everything in our power to bring Alex and the others home. But we need you to be strong here, to keep working, to be ready for whatever we find out there. Reluctantly, Zhou nodded. Okay, she said, her voice small but determined. But you have to promise to stay in contact, to tell us everything you find. Amelia smiled, placing a hand on Zhou's shoulder. I promise. We're in this together, all of us. As final preparations for the Avengers' maiden voyage got underway, Earth held its collective breath. This was humanity's first step into a larger, more dangerous universe, and the stakes couldn't be higher. The day of launch arrived with a mix of anticipation and fear. The Avenger, sleek and powerful, stood ready on its launch pad, a testament to human ingenuity and determination. As the crew boarded, crowds gathered around view screens worldwide, watching with bated breath. General Blackwood, taking his place in the captain's chair, looked around at his crew. They were the best Earth had to offer: pilots, engineers, soldiers, and scientists, all united in their mission. Dr. Chen, he said, turning to Amelia at her station. Are we ready? Amelia nodded, her fingers dancing over her console. All systems are green, General. We're as ready as we'll ever be. Blackwood took a deep breath, then keyed the ship-wide comm. Crew of the Avenger, this is your captain speaking. What we're about to do has never been done before in human history. We're venturing into the unknown, facing an enemy more advanced than us, with the lives of our children hanging in the balance. But remember this, we carry with us the hopes and determination of every person on Earth. We will not fail. We cannot fail. For Earth, for our future, let's bring our children home. A chorus of affirmations echoed through the ship. Blackwood turned to his pilot. Take us up, nice and easy. The Avenger's engines roared to life, a deep, powerful thrum that shook the Earth. Slowly, gracefully, the ship rose from its launch pad. As it ascended through the atmosphere, cheers erupted from the crowds below. Once in orbit, Blackwood gave the order they'd all been waiting for. Engage FTL drive. For a moment, nothing seemed to happen. Then, in a flash of light that outshone the stars, the Avenger vanished, leaving Earth behind and venturing into the vast unknown of interstellar space. Back on Earth, in the command center, Zhou watched the telemetry data stream in. The Avenger had successfully made the jump to faster-than-light travel. Their first test had been a success. As days turned to weeks, the Avenger pushed further into space, following faint traces of Krathak's energy signatures. Earth waited anxiously for news, Every communication from the ship poured over for clues. It was nearly a month into the mission when the breakthrough came. Zoe was in the command center, assisting with data analysis, when an urgent message came through from the Avenger. Earth Command, this is Dr. Chen. Amelia's voice crackled through the speakers. We found them. We've located a Krathax outpost. The room erupted in a flurry of activity. President Cooper was patched in, her face appearing on the main screen. Dr. Chen, report. What have you found? Amelia's face was grim but determined. It's a small outpost, Madam President, on a moon orbiting a gas giant about 50 light-years from Earth. We've detected human life signs. We believe the children may be there. A collective gasp went through the room. Zoe felt her heart race. Could Alex be there? After all this time, could they finally have found him? President Cooper's voice was steady as she asked the question on everyone's mind. What's your plan, Doctor? There was a moment of silence before Amelia responded. We're preparing for a covert insertion. A small team will infiltrate the outpost while the Avenger provides distraction and support. Our goal is to rescue the children and gather as much intelligence as possible about Krathax capabilities and intentions. The President nodded. As the communication ended, the command center burst into action. Plans were made, contingencies set in place. Earth's first strike against the Krathax was about to begin. Zoe felt a hand on her shoulder and turned to see her mother, Alina. Do you think? Zoe began, unable to finish the sentence. Alina pulled her daughter close. We have to hope, Mija. We have to believe. As the Avenger prepared for its daring raid, Earth held its breath. The future of humanity, the fate of their children, all hung in the balance. The next few hours would determine whether Earth's bold step into the galactic stage would be a triumph or a disaster. In the vastness of space, aboard the Avenger, Dr. Amelia Chen looked out at the alien world looming before them. Somewhere down there were the missing children of Earth. Somewhere down there were answers. Ready insertion team. General Blackwood's voice came over the comm. We're going in. Amelia took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was to come. This was it. The moment Earth had been preparing for. The moment they would show the Krathax and the galaxy at large that humanity was a force to be reckoned with. As the insertion ship detached from the Avenger, carrying its team of brave souls towards the alien outpost, Amelia whispered a quiet promise. Hold on, kids. We're coming for you. The first battle in Earth's war against the Krathax was about to begin. The first strike. The EDS Avenger hung in space, a sleek predator poised to strike. On the bridge, General Blackwood stood rigid, his eyes fixed on the holographic display of the Krathax outpost. The alien structure sprawled across the barren moon's surface, its architecture as foreign as its purpose was sinister. Status report, Blackwood barked, his voice taut with tension. Lieutenant Sarah Chen, no relation to Dr. Amelia Chen, but equally brilliant in her own right, responded from her tactical station. Stealth systems are holding, sir. The Krathax don't appear to have detected us yet. Blackwood nodded. Good. Prepare to launch the insertion team on my mark. In the launch bay, Dr. Amelia Chen checked her gear one last time. The sleek, form-fitting combat suit felt alien against her skin. She was a scientist, not a soldier, but necessity had pushed her far beyond her comfort zone. Captain Miguel Ortiz, leader of the insertion team, approached her. Ready, Doc? He asked, his voice a mixture of concern and respect. Amelia nodded, forcing a smile. As ready as I'll ever be, Captain. Ortiz clapped her on the shoulder. Remember, stick close to me. We get in, we get the kids, we get out. Simple as that. Simple. Amelia echoed, though they both knew it was anything but. The team of 6 boarded the stealth shuttle, each lost in their own thoughts. As the bay doors opened, revealing the stark alien landscape below, Amelia felt a surge of determination. Whatever happened, they would not fail. They could not fail. Insertion team, you are clear for launch. Blackwood's voice crackled over the comm. Godspeed. The shuttle detached from the Avenger, its stealth systems rendering it nearly invisible as it descended towards the Krathax outpost. As they approached, Amelia's scientific curiosity warred with her fear. The alien structure was unlike anything she had ever seen, its geometry seeming to defy Euclidean principles. Touching down in 3, 2, 1. The pilot's voice was steady as the shuttle landed with barely a tremor. Captain Ortiz was first out, his weapon at the ready. Move, 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 he hissed, and the team flowed out of the shuttle like water, taking up defensive positions. Amelia followed, her heart pounding. The alien air, while breathable, carried a strange metallic tang. She activated her scanner, sweeping the area for human life signs. This way, she whispered, pointing towards a towering structure that pulsed with an eerie purple light. The team moved swiftly and silently, years of training evident in every step. As they approached the structure, Amelia's scanner began to beep insistently. Multiple human life signs detected, she reported, her voice tight with excitement and fear. They're in there. Ortiz nodded grimly. All right, people. This is it. Remember your training, watch each other's backs, and let's bring our kids home. As they prepared to breach the structure, alarms suddenly blared across the outpost. Harsh, alien syllables echoed through the air, and the ground trembled beneath their feet. Shit, Ortiz cursed. Our cover's blown. Move in, now. The team surged forward, breaching the alien structure with a combination of Earth tech and reverse-engineered Krathax weapons. As they pushed deeper into the complex, they encountered their first Krathax defenders. The aliens were tall, spindly creatures with iridescent, scaled skin and multiple limbs that moved with unsettling grace. Their weapons fired beams of purple energy that left scorch marks on the walls. Take cover, Ortiz yelled as the air filled with alien fire. Amelia ducked behind a strange, undulating column, her heart racing. This was nothing like the simulations. The chaos, the noise, the acrid smell of ozone from the energy weapons. It was overwhelming. But then she heard it, a sound that cut through the din of battle and steeled her resolve. The sound of children crying. Captain, she shouted over the comm. The children are close. We need to push forward. Ortiz nodded, his face set in grim determination. You heard the doc. Suppressing fire. Now, the human team unleashed a barrage of their own, their weapons a mix of traditional ballistics and adapted alien tech. The Krathax, for all their advanced technology, seemed unprepared for the ferocity of the human assault. Slowly but surely they pushed forward, deeper into the alien complex. With each step, the sounds of the children grew louder. Finally, they reached a vast chamber, its walls lined with strange, glowing pods. Inside each pod was a child, suspended in some kind of stasis field. Oh my God! Amelia breathed, her scientific detachment crumbling at the sight. These were the missing children of Earth, hundreds of them, preserved like specimens in an alien laboratory. Start getting them out, Ortiz ordered, his team already moving to the pods. Doc, figure out how to shut these things down safely. Amelia rushed to the nearest control panel, her mind racing as she tried to decipher the alien interface. Her fingers flew over the strange symbols, applying everything she had learned about Krathax technology. Suddenly, the pods began to open with a hiss of escaping gas. The children inside stirred, blinking in confusion and fear. It's working. Amelia cried out, relief washing over her. We need to move quickly before. Her words were cut off by a massive explosion that rocked the entire structure. Ortiz's comm crackled to life with General Blackwood's urgent voice. Insertion team, report. We've engaged a Krathax battlecruiser in orbit. Whatever you're doing down there, do it fast. We can't hold them off forever. Ortiz cursed under his breath. Understood, General. We've located the children and are beginning extraction now. As the team worked to free the children from their pods, Amelia noticed something strange. Among the human children were others. Alien children of various species, all in similar states of suspended animation. "Captain," she called out, her voice tight. "I don't think this is just about Earth. The Krathax, they're taking children from multiple worlds." Ortiz's face hardened. "We'll deal with the implications later, Doc. Right now, we need to get these kids out of here." As they worked to evacuate the children, more Krathax forces converged on their position. The human team found themselves fighting a desperate rearguard action, trying to hold off the aliens while shepherding the confused and frightened children towards their extraction point. Amelia found herself guiding a group of children, a mix of human and alien, towards the exit. Among them, she spotted a familiar face. Alex Martinez, Zoe's brother, looking older but alive. "Alex," she called out. The boy turned, his eyes wide with recognition. "Dr. Chen," he said, his voice hoarse from disuse. You came for us." Amelia felt tears prick her eyes. "Of course we did, Alex. We never stopped looking. Now come on, we're getting you home." As they neared the exit, a massive Krathax warrior loomed before them, its multiple limbs brandishing fearsome weapons. Amelia pushed the children behind her, raising her own weapon with shaking hands. But before either could fire, a barrage of fire from behind took the Krathax down. Captain Ortiz emerged from the smoke, his armor scored and dented, but his eyes blazing with determination. "Move, move," he shouted, urging them towards the waiting shuttle. As they boarded, Amelia did a quick count. They had managed to rescue over 100 children, both human and alien. It wasn't all of them, but it was a start. The shuttle took off just as another explosion rocked the outpost. As they ascended towards the Avenger, Amelia saw the Krathax battlecruiser engaged in fierce combat with Earth's first starship. The Avenger, despite being outnumbered and outgunned, was holding its own. Its maneuvering was unlike anything the Krathax had encountered, its weapons a mix of human ingenuity and reverse-engineered alien tech that seemed to bypass Krathax shields with surprising effectiveness. As the shuttle docked with the Avenger, Blackwood's voice came over the comm once more. "Insertion team secured. All hands, prepare for immediate FTL jump." The ship shuddered as it took a hit from the Krathax cruiser. For a heart-stopping moment, Amelia feared their FTL drive might have been damaged. But then, with a flash of light that seemed to bend reality itself, the Avenger vanished into FTL, leaving the battered Krathax outpost and its defending cruiser behind. In the Avenger's medbay, as doctors and nurses tended to the rescued children, Amelia found herself sitting next to Alex Martinez. The boy looked up at her, his eyes filled with a mixture of hope and disbelief. "Is it really over?" he asked, his voice small. "Are we really going home?" Amelia put an arm around his shoulders, pulling him close. "Yes, Alex, you're going home. But this is just the beginning." As the Avenger raced back towards Earth, carrying its precious cargo of rescued children, Amelia knew that the real war was just beginning. They had struck their first blow against the Krathax, but the alien empire would not take this attack lightly. Earth had announced its presence on the galactic stage in the most dramatic way possible. There would be no going back now. The only way was forward, into a future filled with both incredible danger and unlimited possibility. As she looked around at the faces of the rescued children, human and alien alike, Amelia felt a fierce surge of determination. Whatever came next, humanity would face it head-on. They had taken their first steps into a larger universe, and they would not be pushed back into the shadows. The Krathax and any other forces that threatened the children of Earth would soon learn a valuable lesson. Never underestimate the lengths to which humanity will go to protect its own. Escalation. The return of the EDS Avenger to Earth was met with a mixture of jubilation and grim determination. As the ship descended through the atmosphere, crowds gathered worldwide to watch the live stream. their faces a mix of hope and anxiety. In New York, Zoe Martinez stood with her parents in the landing zone, her heart pounding with anticipation. As the ship touched down and the ramp lowered, she held her breath, scanning the faces of the emerging children. And then there he was, Alex, older and leaner, his eyes haunted but alive. "Alex!" Zoe cried out, breaking away from her parents and running towards her brother. They collided in a fierce embrace, both siblings sobbing with relief and joy. Elena and David joined them, enveloping their children in a family hug that seemed to last an eternity. Similar scenes played out across the landing zone as other families were reunited with their long-lost children. But amidst the joy, there was an undercurrent of tension. The arrival of alien children rescued alongside the humans had sent shockwaves through Earth's governments and populace. It was undeniable proof that the Krathax threat extended far beyond Earth, encompassing who knew how many worlds across the galaxy. In the days that followed, as the rescued children were debriefed and reunited with their families, Earth's leaders gathered to discuss the implications of what they had learned. President Cooper stood at the head of the table in the United Nations Security Council chamber, her face grave as she addressed the assembled world leaders. "Ladies and gentlemen," she began, "the successful rescue mission carried out by the EDS Avenger has given us hope, but it has also opened our eyes to the true scale of the threat we face. The Krathax Empire is vast, spanning multiple star systems, and Earth is just one of many worlds they have victimized." She paused, letting her words sink in. "We struck a blow against them, yes, but make no mistake, they will retaliate. We must prepare for war on a scale humanity has never before imagined." The Chinese president, Liu Wei, leaned forward. "What do you propose, Madam President? We have only one ship capable of interstellar travel. How can we hope to stand against an entire empire?" Cooper's eyes blazed with determination. "We build more ships. We take everything we've learned from the Avengers mission, and we scale up. I'm proposing a global initiative to construct a fleet of dreadnoughts, each one more advanced than the last." The room erupted in a flurry of discussions and arguments. The scale of what President Cooper was proposing was staggering, both in terms of resources and the leap forward in technology it would require. As the debate raged on, Dr. Amelia Chen stepped forward. "If I may, Madam President," she said, her voice cutting through the clamor. The room fell silent, all eyes turning to the scientist who had played such a crucial role in the rescue mission. "What we've learned from the Krathax technology, combined with the innovations we've made, puts us in a unique position," Amelia continued. "We're not starting from scratch. We're building on a foundation of advanced alien tech that we've already begun to understand and improve upon. With a concentrated global effort, I believe we can have a fleet of ships ready within a year." The Russian president, Nikolai Volkov, scoffed. "A year? To build an interstellar fleet? It's impossible." Amelia's eyes narrowed. "With all due respect, Mr. President, we've already done the impossible. We built the Avenger. We rescued our children from an alien outpost 50 light years away. Humanity is capable of incredible things when we work together. We don't have the luxury of time. The Krathax won't wait while we debate whether or not we can do this. We have to do it, and we have to do it now." Her words seemed to galvanize the room. One by one, the world leaders nodded their agreement. President Cooper smiled, a fierce, determined expression. Then it settled. Operation Dreadnought begins immediately. Every nation, every resource we have, will be devoted to this cause. As the meeting adjourned and the leaders dispersed to begin the monumental task ahead, Amelia found herself approached by a familiar face, Zoe Martinez. "Dr. Chen," Zoe said, her young face set in a determined expression. "I want to help. Alex told me everything you did to rescue him and the others. I've been studying the Krathax language and tech nonstop. Please, let me be part of this." Amelia looked at the young girl, seeing in her the same fire, the same determination that had driven humanity to achieve the impossible. She nodded slowly. "All right, Zoe. We're going to need every brilliant mind we can get. Welcome to the team." As weeks turned into months, the face of Earth changed dramatically. Sprawling shipyards sprang up in deserts and wastelands, their massive structures reaching towards the sky. In orbit, the first of the new dreadnoughts took shape, each one larger and more advanced than the Avenger. But even as humanity raced to prepare its defenses, the Krothax were not idle. 6 months after the rescue mission, they struck back. A massive Krothax battle fleet appeared on the edge of the solar system, its ships darkening the sky over Mars. Earth's fledgling defense fleet, consisting of the Avenger and 3 newly completed dreadnoughts, scrambled to meet the threat. The battle that ensued was unlike anything in human history. Energy weapons lit up the void of space, missiles streaked between the combatants, and ships on both sides erupted in silent explosions. On Earth, billions watched in horror and hope as humanity fought its first true interstellar war. In the command center in New York, Zoe worked feverishly alongside Amelia and a team of scientists and tacticians, analyzing Krothax communications and helping to coordinate Earth's defenses. The human ships, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity that seemed to catch the Krothax off guard. The alien empire had expected an easy victory over a primitive world. Instead, they found themselves facing ships that could match their own in speed and firepower, crewed by beings willing to fight to the last to defend their home. After hours of intense combat, the Krothax fleet withdrew, leaving behind the wreckage of several of their ships and 2 of Earth's dreadnoughts. It was a Pyrrhic victory for humanity. They had repelled the invasion, but at a great cost. As the battered Earth fleet limped home, the true scale of the conflict ahead became clear. This was not a war that would be won in a single battle. It would be a long, grueling struggle for survival against an enemy that saw humanity as little more than a resource to be harvested. In the aftermath of the battle, President Cooper addressed a shaken but resolute global population. "People of Earth," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of recent events. "Today, we faced our greatest challenge and emerged victorious. But this is only the beginning. The Krothax will return, and we must be ready." She paused, her eyes scanning the camera, seeming to meet the gaze of every person watching. "I am hereby initiating Operation Armada. We will build not hundreds, not thousands, but hundreds of thousands of ships. We will create a fleet so vast, so powerful, that it will make the Krothax rue the day they ever set their sights on Earth." Around the world, people listened in awe and determination. The scale of what their leader was proposing was almost beyond comprehension, but after what they had just witnessed, they knew it was necessary. In shipyards across the globe, production ramped up to unprecedented levels. New technologies were developed and implemented at breakneck speed. AI systems, reverse-engineered from Krothax tech and enhanced by human ingenuity, managed increasingly complex production lines. And it wasn't just ships being built. As reports came in from the alien children rescued alongside the humans, Earth learned of other worlds, other species who had suffered at the hands of the Krothax. Diplomatic missions were launched, seeking out these civilizations, offering alliances and aid. Humanity, so long alone in the cosmos, was rapidly becoming a major player on the galactic stage. And as their fleet grew, as alliances were forged with other species who had suffered under Krothax oppression, a new sense of purpose filled the people of Earth. They were no longer just fighting for their own survival. They were fighting for every child of every species who had ever been taken by the Krothax. They were fighting for a future where no civilization would have to live in fear of alien abduction. As the first year of the war drew to a close, Earth's fleet had grown to over 10,000 ships, with tens of thousands more under construction. But reports from their new alien allies painted a grim picture of the Krothax Empire's true might. The coming battle would dwarf anything humanity had faced before. In orbit above Earth, aboard the flagship of the human fleet, General Blackwood stood with Dr. Chen, Zoe Martins, and a collection of human and alien leaders. Before them, a holographic display showed the vast armada they had assembled, stretching out into space as far as the eye could see. "Well," Blackwood said, his voice gruff but tinged with pride, "I'd say we're just about ready to take the fight to them." Amelia nodded, her eyes fixed on the display. "It's time to show the Krathax that they made a grave mistake when they targeted Earth." Zoe, now 14, and a key member of the fleet's tactical team, stepped forward. "For Alex," she said softly, "and for every child they've ever taken." As one, the assembled leaders turned their gaze to the stars. Out there, the Krathax Empire awaited, unaware of the storm that was about to break upon them. Humanity, once confined to a single world, was about to make its mark on the galaxy in a way that would never be forgotten. The final battle was approaching. Earth's vengeance was at hand. The final confrontation. The vastness of space seemed to ripple and distort as, one by one, 700,000 Earth dreadnoughts emerged from faster-than-light travel. Each ship was a marvel of human ingenuity and determination, bristling with weapons that melded terrestrial innovation with reverse-engineered Krathax technology. On the bridge of the flagship, the EDS Defiant, General Marcus Blackwood stood tall, his weathered face set in grim determination. Beside him, Dr. Amelia Chen monitored the fleet's systems, her fingers dancing across holographic displays. And there, at the tactical station, sat Zoe Martinez, now 15 years old and one of the fleet's most brilliant strategists. "All ships reporting ready, sir," Zoe announced, her voice steady despite the weight of the moment. Blackwood nodded, his eyes fixed on the main view screen. Before them loomed the Krathax homeworld, a massive planet surrounded by orbital stations, and a defending fleet that nearly matched Earth's armada in size. "Open a channel to all ships," Blackwood ordered. As the communications officer complied, he took a deep breath. "This is General Blackwood to all Earth forces and our allied species. Today, we face our greatest challenge. The Krathax Empire has terrorized the galaxy for too long, stealing children from countless worlds. Today, we put an end to their reign of terror. For Earth, for every world they've victimized, for every child they've taken, we fight." A chorus of affirmations echoed through the comms as the massive fleet began to move forward. The Krathax, caught off guard by the sheer size of the Earth Armada, scrambled to organize their defenses. As the two fleets closed in on each other, space itself seemed to hold its breath. Then, with a silent flash that belied the devastation to follow, the battle was joined. Energy beams lanced across the void, missiles streaked between ships, and fighters swarmed like angry insects. The Krathax fought with the desperation of a cornered animal, their superior technology clashing against human determination and ingenuity. On the Defiance bridge, Zoe's hands flew over her console as she coordinated the movements of thousands of ships. Alpha Group, push forward to Sector 7. Beta and Gamma, flank their left. Delta, watch out for that battle cruiser at your 3 o'clock. Dr. Chen worked feverishly alongside her, analyzing Krathax communications and feeding tactical data to the fleet. "General," she called out, "I'm detecting a power surge from their flagship. I think they're preparing to use some kind of super weapon." Blackwood's eyes narrowed. "Not on my watch. Zoe, prepare a strike team. Dr. Chen, you're with me. We're taking the fight to their command ship." As the battle raged around them, a small, elite team led by Blackwood and Chen boarded a stealth shuttle. They slipped through the chaos of the battle, making their way towards the massive Krathax flagship. Back on the Defiant, Zoe found herself in command of the entire Earth fleet. Her young face was a mask of concentration as she directed the most significant military engagement in human history. The shuttle carrying Blackwood and Chen managed to breach the Krathax flagship's defenses, crash landing in a docking bay. As they fought their way through alien corridors, they encountered fierce resistance. "We need to reach their central control room," Chen shouted over the din of battle. "If we can shut down their command systems, We might be able to end this without completely destroying their world. Blackwood nodded grimly, leading the charge forward. The human strike team, though outnumbered, fought with a ferocity that seemed to catch the Krathax off guard. Slowly but surely, they pushed deeper into the heart of the alien ship. Meanwhile, in space, the battle had reached a fever pitch. Earth ships, though taking heavy losses, were inflicting significant damage on the Krathax fleet. The tactical genius of Zoe Martinez, combined with the raw determination of Earth's forces and their alien allies, was proving to be a match for Krathax technology. On the Krathax flagship, Blackwood, Chen, and their team finally breached the central control room. They found themselves face to face with the Krathax leadership, tall, imposing aliens with multiple limbs and eyes that seemed to glow with an inner light. "This ends now," Blackwood declared, his weapon trained on the alien leader. "Surrender, and we can end this without further bloodshed." The Krathax leader, its voice a strange, multi-toned sound, responded, "Why do you fight so hard for such insignificant creatures? The children we take are but a small price for the advancement of our empire." Dr. Chen stepped forward, her eyes blazing. "Every child, every life, is precious, something your empire seems to have forgotten. We're not here to destroy you, but to stop you from destroying others." As they spoke, Chen was surreptitiously interfacing with the Krathax systems, uploading a virus she had developed. It was designed not to destroy, but to lock out the Krathax from their weapon systems and return control of their stasis pods to the captive children. The Krathax leader, sensing something was amiss, lunged forward. Blackwood reacted instantly, tackling the alien. As they grappled, Chen completed the upload. Suddenly, alarms blared throughout the ship. The Krathax weapons went offline, and reports flooded in of children awakening in stasis pods across their empire. "It's over," Chen declared, helping Blackwood to his feet. "Your empire's power was built on the suffering of innocents. That ends today." Back on the Defiant, Zoe received the signal she had been waiting for. "All ships, cease fire," she commanded. "The Krathax weapons are down. We've won." As the news spread through the fleet, cheers erupted across every ship. The Krathax fleet, seeing their flagship defenseless and their leadership captured, began to stand down. In the days that followed, a new galactic order began to take shape. The Krathax Empire, stripped of its ability to abduct and exploit children, crumbled. Earth, along with its allies, established a galactic council dedicated to protecting the rights of all sentient beings, especially the young. Zoe Martinez, hailed as the tactical genius who had led Earth's fleet to victory, found herself reunited with her brother Alex, as they embraced on the Defiant's observation deck, watching the cleanup of the battle's aftermath. Alex smiled at his sister. "You did it, Zoe," he said softly. "You saved us all." Zoe shook her head, her eyes shining with unused tears. "We did it. All of us. Humanity showed the galaxy what we're capable of when we stand united." As Earth's fleet began the long journey home, they carried with them not just victory, but a new sense of purpose. Humanity had taken its place among the stars, not as conquerors, but as protectors. They had faced their greatest challenge and emerged stronger, wiser, and more united than ever before. Dr. Amelia Chen, standing with General Blackwood as they watched Earth grow larger in the view screen, smiled softly. "You know," she said, "when I first started working on the Avenger, I never imagined it would lead to this. We've changed the course of galactic history." Blackwood nodded, his usual gruff demeanor softened by the weight of their accomplishment. "We've given the galaxy something it's been lacking for too long, hope. And we've shown everyone out there that you don't mess with the children of Earth, or any children, for that matter." As the fleet entered Earth's orbit, they were met with a hero's welcome. Cheering crowds, fireworks, and tears of joy greeted them across the globe. But for those who had been on the front lines, the real victory was in the faces of reunited families, in the eyes of children who would now grow up in a safer galaxy. The war was over, But humanity's journey among the stars was just beginning. With their newfound allies, their advanced technology, and their unbreakable spirit, they looked to the future not with fear, but with anticipation of the wonders and challenges that awaited them. Earth had proven itself a force to be reckoned with, a defender of the innocent, and a beacon of hope in a vast and sometimes dangerous galaxy. The message was clear to all who might threaten the peace. Humanity stands ready, united and unbreakable, a shield for all who cannot defend themselves. As night fell on a jubilant Earth, Zoe Martinez stood in Central Park, on the very spot where her brother had been taken years ago. She looked up at the stars, no longer distant and unreachable, but a frontier filled with possibility. "We're coming," she whispered to the galaxy at large, "and we're bringing hope with us."